And so a big initiative. So these are practicing people. So it's not like, they are just saying because they feel like it. They've gone through the journey. And then Jim will be on the panel. And we have one more person coming whose name is Arvind. And Arvind is the chief agilist at Societe Generale. Right? So it's a French-based bank. He will be there by that time. So those four people will be facilitated by a guy called JP, and then we will have somebody from a Solutions IQ coaching community, mostly Gautam, on the panel, and he just found out, I think. That'll be an interesting discussion. So what we're going to talk about there is this agile thing. Really, like we always hear this thing called transformation. Everybody's talking transformation these days, right? It's as if like there's this magic out there, and you just throw this little thing there. And why should we transform ourselves? We are a company. We are doing what's the best we are doing. So this is around that topic. Okay. Now it has half will be structured questions. JP, who's coming here, who's an awesome coach, is going to be facilitating it. Half will be your questions. Okay, so I'll be the guy taking your questions. You'll have index cards, and you have to think through. I would encourage you to write those questions in index card and keep it one question in index card at that session, and we'll be pulling from that list also. So that's a panel discussion from that pretty strong group from there. Okay, so that's 1:45 to 2:30. Then.
So my 2 cents on that is, Agile, we being a large organization, right? Lean startups for scaling up Agile, the jury is still out on that, right? But then some of the principles for sure, like Agile startup, Lean startup talks about the MVP, minimal viable product, or validate your learnings and then, broad base it to a larger organization. Those two can be a straight, takeoff from the Lean startup concepts that can be used on Agile.
That can be applied. Okay, good. Thank you.
I agree to the statement. Let me address that in 2 parts. One is, I totally agree that mindset and culture are very important ingredients, right, whether you're introducing Lean or Agile, right? So you have this wonderful survey that comes out every year from version 1.
Yeah.
Number one barrier to any adoption, be it Lean, be it Agile, is the organizational culture, right? And so, from our side as well, that's work in progress. We've not mastered that aspect as well, right? But then the important parts to set that right, mindset and culture, which takes time, is the leadership buy-in. And when I say buy-in, it's not in terms of sponsoring or giving the budget to do it, right? That's one part of it, essential, but not necessary in sufficient condition, right? Then comes in, whether the leadership has really bought into the concept of Lean or Agile, right? And that's what we're trying to educate, doing a lot of sessions for the leadership in educating them. And also the leadership to communicate back on what benefits do these give and give a sense of purpose to the entire organization, right? That why is culture and mindset important and not just the processes and tools around it, right? So yeah, definitely leadership needs to do a lot more in terms of mindset, namely communicating on a regular basis, what are the benefits, a total buy-in beyond just giving a budget, right? Meaning imbibing those principles as well as demonstrating that on a regular basis.
Sure. In fact, just to add one point, you talked about not just getting a buy-in, it's also, we have gone past the stage where we used to say that we have a leadership buy-in, right? We have a leadership sponsorship, like just this. But now, what is really important is leadership involved in day-to-day operations, at least in the critical decision making, and are they providing the guidance during the journey by making their hands dirty? I think that's what you're probably trying to emphasize. So guys, yeah, please.
You meant to be contrary, but one of the principles that, knowingly or unknowingly he imparted was empowering the team and, making them autonomous, which is in line with the principles that we just talked about.
Sure. So that empowerment, the empowerment comes only with that leadership.